My name is Cynthia McIntosh, and I welcome you to Nuggets of Truth broadcast. On today, I wanted to share with you some powerful truths from 2 Samuel chapter 3, verse 1. Listen to this. I want to read it for you and give you some background on it. It says, there was a long war, a long one, between the house of Saul and the house of David, but David grew stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul grew weaker and weaker. I want to give you some background on this text. First of all, you see two characters, Saul and David. Saul was the king of Israel at that time, and David was one of Saul's followers. He was also a mighty man of God. During that time, Saul decided that he would disobey God. God told him to go into the land and to totally destroy men, women, children, and animals. Saul decided to go against God's will. God, because of that, decided to take away his call as king. He did not dethrone him immediately, but he allowed him to just grow weaker and weaker. At the same time, his counterpart, David, grew stronger and stronger because God was going to raise him up and replace Saul. Well, Saul saw this happening and went into war against David, his follower, his counterpart. And so during that time, it was a long war. And you that know the story know that eventually that Saul did get conquered by his enemies, and David did rise up to become king. Now, from this text, this story, I want to share some powerful truths. And it's simply this, that Satan will try to conquer you with wear down strategy. Yes, wear down strategy. The battle between Saul and David was long because Saul tried to wear out David. But instead of David getting weaker because of the attack, he got stronger and Saul grew weaker. And so he lost the battle because he lived outside of the plan of God. One reason that Satan will attack you is that you have something that needs. In order for Saul to maintain his power as king, he needed David's influence and his resources. You are the same in your battle, your spiritual battles that seem to be based as a natural battle. But dear hearts, there are many battles we're fighting that Satan is the instigator. He's the cause of it. He will use people around you to attack you. And when you're getting angry at the people, let me tell you this, you need to get angry at Satan. You need to love your enemy and hate Satan. Talk to him. Stay in the battle constantly with him, but love your enemy. Because in the story of Saul and David, David refused to hurt Saul for hating him and wanting to destroy him. There were moments where Saul tried to literally murder David sitting in his own home. And God brought David out of every battle he fought with Saul. David refused to hurt his enemy. Love him. And I encourage you to do the same today. Love your enemies and hate the devil. Fight him. Get into spiritual battle with him. Yes, you have influence and resources, and he wants what you have. As a Christian, you are a threat to Satan's plans around you, a threat in your home, a threat in your church, a threat in your prayer group, a threat on your job. There's some people that will hate you on your job because they see God's favor in your life. Don't let it get you down. Love them, but speak to Satan and take a stand and stay who you are called to become. Stay who you are called to become as that manager, as that group leader, as a technical expert, whatever God is called, as that doctor, as that lawyer, as that engineer. Don't let people beat you down because of God's favor on your life. Take a stand, love them, but hate the enemy. Yes, yes. Battles will occur in their hearts with family members. Saul and David were relatives. They were both babies of Abraham. Sometime your battles will occur in your home with people that you love very dearly. Don't let that bother you. Take a stand. Don't change who you are and what God has called you to become. Allow God to use you in the midst of a toxic environment. You may be in a situation where it may be a brother or sister, it may be your mother, it may be your father, it may be your cousin. Satan will go into your intimate relationships, people who are weak, who allow Satan to use them to attack you. You're going to have the victory. You're going to get through that battle. You are going to get stronger and stronger, and they are going to get weaker and weaker. And that's my theme today. In your battles against Satan, you are going to get stronger and stronger, and Satan is going to get weaker and weaker. I encourage you to take a stand. Two things happen in battles. It's growing time for you, and it's weakening time for your enemies. Let me say that again. It's growing time for you and a weakening time for your enemies. Satan is working off of his last tank of gas. He is not going to get a refill. God does not anoint Satan to conquer his people and his kingdom. Always remember this: Satan is jealous of what you have and what God is going to give you. In order for him to get stronger, he needs to get you out of the way. He needs to attack you. But you are too strong to overtake overnight. And so what you have to do is understand that over time, and I say that because some battles last a long time. Over time, you are going to get the victory because he's going to get weaker and weaker, and you are going to get stronger and stronger. Dear hearts, we were created spiritually to become stronger and stronger to the point where we become what I call mountain movers. Let me take us to scripture to support what I'm saying. In Matthew chapter 17, and I want to read this full text. It's very powerful. I'll start at Matthew 17, verse 14. It says, "And when they had come to the multitude, a man came to him," Jesus, "kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is an epileptic and suffers severely. He often falls into the fire," great battle, "and often into the water. So I brought him to your disciples so they could not cure him." Then Jesus answered and said, "O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I bear with you? Bring him to me." And Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of him immediately, and the child was cured from that very hour. And the disciples came to Jesus privately and said, "Why couldn't we do that?" He said, "Because of your unbelief. For surely I say to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move here to there, and it will move. And nothing will be impossible for you. However, this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting." Prayer and fasting. These are two keys for us to become stronger and stronger. Prayer and fasting. Jesus knew his disciples would never be able to conquer these battles because they needed time to grow. There's some seasons we will spend in much prayer and fasting so we can get stronger and stronger as our enemies get weaker and weaker. As you pray and fast, you become what Jesus said in this text, have the ability to just say to the mountain. The reason why some of our battles last a long time is because we are weak. And God has sent the battle to cause us to go into prayer and fasting. Dear hearts, as you spend time with God, you're going to get stronger and conquer every battle that keeps you from fulfilling God's plan in your life. I know one of the battles I've been fighting many years is with my weight. Believe it or not, I've been close to 100 pounds larger than I am now. It was very bad. It was a battle that I had to learn to fight because Satan wanted to conquer me with sickness and death. I have fought against him many years to keep him from taking my life through my inability and weakness to food, the wrong types of food, things that were decreasing my health. Over time, I've gotten stronger and stronger, and my enemy has gotten weaker and weaker. But it has come through prayer and fasting. I'm becoming a mountain mover when it comes to attacking demons of gluttony, demons of lust for food. When I see things, I love eating. When I see things that look good, my stomach, my appetite has decreased. Yes, the demonic spirits that will get inside of your appetite and cause you to be hungry all the time. They become a part of your life. The lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh. It's been my battle, and you may have been fighting the same thing. And I want you to know, as I tell myself every day, I'm getting stronger and stronger. My enemy is getting weaker and weaker. Dear hearts, you can conquer every battle that you face that has the ability to take you out of God's plan and will for your life. Don't let him break up your marriage. Don't let him make you leave your job that you know God is giving you. Don't make him allow him to guide you into war against family members to the point of hurting them. Love them. But I'm a witness. Sometimes you have to pray and fast to get to that place. Well, beloveds, I've got to go. God bless you, and I hope to share again with you next week.